Hi guys, it's Michelle, Deception Bytes, and it is July 17th. It is 4:18 p.m. Eastern Time, and I have some stuff for you. Let me tell you, I was so excited when I found this stuff, and I thought, oh, these guys are going to love this. And I think you are, and I think it's going to encourage you. So stick around because it really is. I know everybody says that, oh, it's jaw-dropping, it's humongous. No, this really is big. So let's get started. Now, do you remember, and I'm not sure the date of this because I clipped this out of YouTube, not YouTube, rather, Twitter. I clipped this out of Twitter and it doesn't have the date on it, but it wasn't that long ago because I remember this very clearly, and I think you will too if you've been following Q, and if you're listening to me, you probably have been. So this was from Q. He said, why are Hussein records sealed? Unusual. Why did 42 Hussein admin staff obtain FBI bypass, no background check? IT scandal, A1, access to classified emails, summary security meetings, notes, briefs, etc. with no FBI background check or clearance. Purpose, Paki leak, Muslim Brotherhood infiltration. IG report on Hillary Rodham Clinton email handling means little. Okay. IG report on Hillary Rodham Clinton email handling means little. Then what does he say? Keep your eyes on the ball. I remember when he said that, thinking that's an odd thing to say because usually we can take what he says literally. So I remember reading that and thinking, what ball? What ball are we supposed to keep our eyes on? And I figured that at some point in the distant future, whether a few days later or a few weeks later or a few months later, we would know what it was, what ball we were to keep our eyes on. So we were warned. Now, POTUS is not going through this for nothing. And now, let's come down to here. What did Putin give President Trump? A ball. I know, you're saying, so? What was that ball? Well, we're going to find out. And I hope that you are as intrigued as I am. Now this I cut out from Twitter as well. This is the ball Putin gave POTUS, embedded with microchip to unlock secret content on your phone. Trump sides with Putin over our intelligence. Anyone catching what just happened? You smell that? Justice is coming. Now, let's take a look at this ball. It is the FIFA World Cup Knockout official match ball. At the center of the most, just 1 second, I'm hearing my phone buzzing and I am ignoring it. Now, let me go back to where I was. I apologize for the interference. FIFA World Cup Knockout official match ball at the center of the most exciting phase of the tournament. In Russia, it means, now I don't know how to pronounce that in Russian, but it means dream or ambition. The Telstar Mechta is a tribute to the road each player took to reach the 2018 FIFA World Cup Russia and what lies at stake. The soccer ball has the same mono-panel design as the Telstar 18, but incorporates red to reflect the intensity of the knockout stages. The first of its kind, the ball is embedded with an NFC chip that allows you to unlock exclusive content through your smartphone. The ball is embedded with an NFC chip that allows you to unlock exclusive content through your smartphone. Keep that in mind. And we're going to, let me see here if I I want to read this stuff in its in the proper order. So here we go. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for us. You're probably not going to be able to see it just because of the nature of it. It's blurry to me. But now I got this from the Great Awakening board. Adidas ball plus NFC. Edit here to add in Adidas ball plus. Did we just find the keystone to the server? Happy July, Patriots. The ball is in your court. Putin to Trump. That's exactly what Putin said to Trump when he handed him the ball. He said, the ball is in your court. What does that mean? What's in the ball? The rest of the dirt on Hillary? Exactly what I was thinking. Pass the USB drive right in front of everyone. The NFC chip inside the retail version of the ball will send the person scanning it to a web address. Even if Russia did nothing to alter the way the chip works for this special ball, they probably did, and it would be trivial to do so, they could still embed a dark web URL in there, 33,000 emails, and send Trump to it. That ball is the Adidas Telstar. It has an NFC in it. Holy F, good find. The NFC could contain a password or hash. Now over here, incriminating evidence has been passed by Putin to Trump today. Maybe the whole other side of the Brotherhood, Pakistani side, etc. Barron is the cyber expert. Trump passing the ball to Barron is code. Now, once Trump passed the ball to President Trump, Trump said, well, first of all, Putin said, the ball is in your court. Then Trump, after a few minutes, said, I'll give this ball to Barron, or I'll pass this ball to Barron. Interesting. Melania gave the ball to Secret Service as they were leaving the press conference. Now, I would imagine that now Trump passed the ball to Melania, who passed it to the Secret Service. Now, I would have imagined that they kept that in their possession, probably took it back to Air Force One or wherever, but they kept it under lock and key, you can imagine, until it is safely on U.S. soil. And I think that this is very, very interesting because it makes perfect sense. Because Trump keeps saying, where is the server? Where is the server? He knows. He knows. And I do believe that Putin was passing information to Trump via that ball. And nobody thought anything of it. It's just a ball, right? And Putin said, the ball's in your court. What did he mean by that? I'm handing you all the information. What you do from it from here on in that's your business. But I love the way this whole thing went with Putin trolling Trump as well, saying, oh yeah, I'll question those 12 Russians, Putin says, bring Mueller over. I'd love to have them questioned in my presence. But on the other hand, I want to ask you guys about the $400 million that Hillary made off with. So, really interesting things going on here, fascinating things, not at all how it's being portrayed in the news, but then does that surprise anyone? Doesn't surprise me, and I'm quite certain it does not surprise you either. So anytime the media is making this much fuss over something, we can just about guarantee the opposite is happening. And this is no different. But I would, if I were you, and it's something that I'm doing, paying attention to who is squawking the loudest over this whole Trump-Russia meeting. So I think that we would do ourselves a favor to pay attention to that, because usually it's the ones that are the most vocal that are the most guilty. So Q did warn us, and again, further proof of Q. I thought it was an odd thing to say way back then when he said, keep your eye on the ball. I thought, And that's odd, because usually when Q gives us a directive, it is fairly clear. Not just keep your eye on the ball. Well, what ball? What eye? I'm just kidding. I mean, what ball? So there you are. Now, down here, it says, consider the following. Credible theory on the football. Consider the following. Putin has digital info Trump needs. Putin gives Trump a soccer ball at a critical time. This particular soccer ball contains NFC tech capable of transmitting digital information. Consider that Trump knows our meme of Barron being a tech genius. He's very good with computers, according to POTUS. This ball is going straight to Barron could equal this ball is going straight to our tech guys. Ball was examined by the U.S. Secret Service as the Trumps were leaving. Putin, the ball is now in your court. Obvious double meaning. Did we just watch the most important data transfer in the world history on television in front of the world, disguised as a tongue-in-cheek, goofy gesture? Keep your eyes on the ball. Q. It appears to be more than possible, even likely. Now, I happen to subscribe to this theory. I believe it very much. I believe that that's what we just viewed in front of the entire world. I think that we just viewed the passing of very sensitive information to Trump that's going to help in this whole investigation and blow things wide open. Remember, July is when the truth comes out. Well, it's July 17th. And things are happening very quickly, and I think the next week or two are going to be cataclysmic. I believe that. And I think that both sides are going to be going wild. So watch for the spin. I know we're all wise to that. We're all wise to the way the media spins things, but just keep an eye on the spin. Keep your eyes off of the mainstream media over the next couple of weeks, because none of it's going to be true anyway. Unless you just find it amusing to watch them freak out, which sometimes I must admit I do, and that does not speak well of me. But sometimes I just like to watch them freak out. So let's go on, because we've got lots of interesting things here. Lots of interesting things. Now, I found this, and I'd seen this before, but I could not find the picture. And I found a short little video clip where Trump was doing that same gesture with his chin. He did it out of nowhere. He turned to one side and then to the other to make sure that the reporters caught it. And I knew at that point it was a sign to the Anons, because of, little Froggy here does the same thing. And I think that this is interesting. And this meme says, trust the plan. Wanted to show you that because I myself have witnessed it on at least a couple of occasions, and it's not a mistake. Trump is not doing that out of the blue. Let me tell you, anyone at Trump's position at that level knows all about body language and knows all about signs and symbols and everything else, and what to do and what not to do. So what they do with their hands is extremely important, because these things are taught to politicians, to people that are in the media. It's taught. It's, for example, you leave your palms facing out as much as possible, because that garners trust. Whereas if you are talking with your palms down, it will lead people to distrust you. When your palms can be seen, psychologically, not even knowingly, but subconsciously, we look at that person and we think, oh, okay, they're trustworthy. We see their palms. That's just a very, very small sample. The other thing with crossing your arms, if you start to cross your arms when you're talking to someone, it means usually that you're not very open to what they're having to say. There are a million examples which we won't get into now, but you can rest assured that this is not just a coincidence. Like, oh, he just happened to put his hand up to his chin that way. No, because when I've seen it, it was deliberate, and there's no way that you could mistake it as deliberate. Now, if any of you listening have that video, please provide a link to it, or email it to me, or whatever you feel comfortable with, because I would like others to see it, and I would like to highlight it in another video so that everyone can see it. I have looked and have not been able to find it. If any of you can, then more power to you. That's why we're all in this together, and we're all needed. One person can only find so much, but a bunch of people, well, we can find a whole lot. And we are. We are. So let's go on to the next thing. Expand your thinking. Could this also be a metaphor that they have the information/data? Trump was also given something as soon as he stepped off the plane. Remember QAnon. And this person was in response to the sharp edge. After Trump lands in Helsinki, he is greeted by several dignitaries. One of them hands something to Trump. Then Trump slides the object into his pocket. Wonder what it is. Now, let's look at that. And clearly, we will see that this person is telling the truth. Let's go out to the video. Let's slowly go out to the video. All right. Come on. Stupid hamsters. Maybe it's because I have all this stuff open, like zillions and zillions and zillions of... hang on here. Okay. Now, let me go back. All right. Here they are. Moments ago, President Trump arrives in Helsinki to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Now, we're gonna watch this. We're gonna pay attention, and I'll point out to you the time when it happens. Come on. Adapter as always. Okay, now they are meeting these dignitaries that have gathered here. I'm not going to even try to say who they are. This is obviously Secret Service. This is obviously Secret Service. Now watch, I think it's this guy. He's going to hand something to Trump into his left hand, and Trump is going to take it from his left hand, put it into his, his right hand, I'm sorry, I get my left and right mixed up. I don't know why. Okay, he's shaking hands with his right hand. He's going to take something from this gentleman into his right hand, place it into his left, and slip it into his pocket very, unceremoniously. So let's watch really closely. See? He dropped something into his hand. This guy, right after she shook his hand, this guy was out, like in the background there. He had retrieved something. He's placing it into Trump's hand. Puts it in his left hand. Slips it in his pocket. Now, what was that? Maybe nothing. Maybe it was a key to something. Maybe it was, I don't know. But to me, it's very possible that that was a flash disk. It was small enough to be. Let's just go back here for a second. Now, she's shaking his hand. He is in the background right here. And there he goes. Hand it to him. Puts it in his left hand. He waits for a second and sticks it in his pocket. So, I don't know. What was that? I don't think we can surmise. I mean, I could come up with all sorts of things. Maybe it was a live mouse. Maybe it was a bug zapper. I don't know. It could be anything. Probably not a live mouse or a bug zapper. Could possibly either be a key or could be a flash disk. Now I'm going with a flash disk because I would think that wherever Trump is going, everything, he'd be accompanied everywhere. He wouldn't need a key, but I don't know. So there you go. Now, let's go back. More interesting things. So we have him taking something from one of the dignitaries and placing something in his pocket. Now, here's something from Kim.com. Must watch. Former NSA technical director debunks Mueller indictment against 12 Russians with scientific evidence. DNC files could not have been transferred over the internet at a rate of 49 millibytes per second, but or megabytes rather per second, but a USB thumb drive inside DNC could do that. Now, we've looked at this before. It was a very long time ago, but it's been proven that, you know, those files were not transferred over, you know, the internet. They weren't. They were transferred by a USB drive. That's the only way they could have been transferred, and we know who that person that transferred it is. It's Seth Rich, who passed it on to WikiLeaks. Seth Rich, no longer with us for obvious reasons. But I can assure you, it was not 12 Russians. Now, here's something else I found interesting. By Stump for Trump, and this was on Twitter, and I liked it a lot. President Trump has been far tougher on Russia in 18 months than Obama in 8 years. Impose sanctions against Russian oligarchs and government officials. Trump, yes. Obama, no. Impose sanctions against Russia over annexing Crimea from Ukraine. Trump, yes. Obama, no. Impose sanctions against Russia's energy and defense industries. Trump, yes. Obama, no. Caught on camera telling Russian diplomat he'll have more flexibility after the election. Trump, no. Obama, yes. Expelled the most Russian spies and diplomats in United States history. Trump, yes. Obama, no. Approved the sale of defensive lethal arms to Ukraine to battle pro-Russian separatists. Trump, yes. Obama, no. So there you go. And I also liked this by Joe Fisher. Dear intelligence community, you spied on him, you harassed him, you leaked on him, you lied about him, you wiretapped him, you tried to overthrow him, you harassed his family and friends. Why the heck should he trust you? Right? All these people that are crying and complaining about why wouldn't Trump trust the intelligence community? Why would he trust Russia over us? Well, maybe that's why. You spied on him, harassed him, leaked on him, lied about him, wiretapped him, tried to overthrow him. You harassed his family and friends. Of course he doesn't trust you. Are you brain dead? Seriously. I have to shake my head sometimes, honestly. And I hate to even sound like that, but you really have to shake your head. But, on the other hand, when you realize that they're only saying these things because they're guilty, it kind of puts it in perspective. But still, wow. So, thought this was interesting as well. Don't know what it means, but I do think it's interesting. Let's look at the menu from the, or not the menu, but it's, I guess I can't really see this because it's too, and even making it bigger is just going to make it blurrier, I think. I do believe. Hang on. I wish that we could see this in all its glory. It says something, a something tea party. And anyway, this is from this meeting here, this whatever it is, but it has the Mad Hatter on it, his tea, okay? And here we have a serviette in the shape of rabbit ears. What do you make of that? Well, obviously they made rabbit ears. But seriously, what do you think of that? I don't know what to think about it. I wish I knew where this came from. This. Because it's, I think it's in Russian, but I don't know. Some of it looks like it's in English. I have no idea. But I found this out on the internet and I grabbed it because I think it's weird. I think it's bizarre. I think it's ludicrous. I don't know. Now, let's take a look at this. And you can leave your thoughts about this below. I really do enjoy reading your comments. So if you have any thoughts about this, leave it below. But I did want to actually tell you guys, some people will respond to something. They're listening to the video and they're responding underneath while the video's playing. But they're responding like, yes, I agree with that. But then I'm like, well, what? What are they agreeing with? Because it's obvious to you when you're writing it because you're listening to it. But, you know, after I've uploaded these, I forget, you know, what exactly every single thing I said. So please, if you're responding, make sure that others know what you're responding to, because it's confusing for me reading it, and I'm sure it's confusing for others reading it too, because there's been times when somebody left a really good comment, but I'm not exactly sure what it's in reference to. So just a reminder that if you're leaving comments, make sure, don't just say, oh yes, I agree with that, or, you know, whatever. Now there was some on Peter Strzok where I said he looked evil, and people said, yes, indeed, he looks evil. Well, that clued me in what they were talking about, but I think you know what I mean here. You guys are smarter than the average bears. Okay, Hillary Clinton refuses to deny Putin's claim she took $400 million from Russia. Well, she's not denying it. Guess it's hard to do when probably Trump is now in possession of everything he needs to prove it, right? Kind of hard to deny. Twice failed presidential candidate Hillary Clinton has refused to deny President Vladimir Putin's bombshell claim that some $400 million in illegal profits earned in Russia was funneled to the Clinton campaign by members of the U.S. Intelligence Committee and associates of Bill Browder, a hedge fund manager who has renounced U.S. citizenship. Vladimir Putin made a bombshell claim during Monday's joint press conference with President Trump in Helsinki, Finland. According to Putin, the dirty money scheme involved members of the U.S. Intelligence Committee who he said accompanied and guided these transactions until they were deposited into Clinton's coffers. While Putin's information has yet to be verified, his bombshell claim has been completely ignored by mainstream media, who are refusing so much as report what he said during the joint press conference. Hillary Clinton took to Twitter to lambaste Trump for meeting with Putin, even though President Obama met with Putin several times, or multiple times rather. However, she refused to answer questions asking her if Putin's claim have any merit. Mainstream media, the Democrats, and Hillary Clinton are in panic mode. They are hoping if they do not acknowledge Putin's claim, they will go away. Sorry, Hillary, they're not going away. No. However, this is not how the world works anymore. The mainstream media do not control the dissemination of information. Clinton's media collusion will not save her from investigation this time. This is a good time to find out more about Bill Browder, is the close friends of the Clintons, who renounced his U.S. citizenship in the 1990s. Zero Hedge report. Browder made billions in Russia during the 90s. In December, a Moscow court sentenced Browder in absentia to 9 years in prison for tax fraud, while he was also guilty of tax evasion in a separate 2013 case. Putin accuses Browder's associate of illegally earning over $1.5 billion without paying Russian taxes before sending $400 million to Clinton. After offering to allow special counsel Robert Mueller's team to come to Russia for their investigation, as long as there was a reciprocal arrangement for Russian intelligence to investigate in the U.S., Putin said this. For instance, We can bring up Mr. Browder in this particular case. Business associates of Mr. Browder have earned over $1.5 billion in Russia and never paid any taxes, neither in Russia or the United States, and yet the money escaped the country. They were transferred to the United States. They sent a huge amount of money, $400 million, as a contribution to the campaign of Hillary Clinton. Well, that's their personal case. It might have been legal, the contribution itself, but the way the money was earned was illegal. So we have solid reason to believe that some U.S. intelligence officers accompanied and guided these transactions. So we have interest in questioning them, and no doubt they do. We would expect Putin to show some receipts for such bombshell allegations while President Trump did not challenge the claims. Who is Bill Browder? This rabbit hole goes deep. Now, I think that we're going to find out exactly who Bill Browder is. Don't you? I most certainly do. And I think the reason why President Trump did not challenge the claims is because he already knows they're true, and the evidence was given to him in that ball or in what was passed to him by that dignitary. Now, maybe I'm living in a fantasy land. I don't know, but that's what I believe. And I may find out that I'm false, that what I believe is false. And I'm okay with that. I really am. I'm just looking for the truth, like you all are looking for the truth. And if the truth does not line up with my preconceived idea of the truth, then I will change my preconceived idea, because literally I do want the truth. So I think that's where we all are, and I want to make that plain to everyone that should Trump turn out to be someone who we think he's not, I will at that time, turn, because I want the truth, irregardless. Well, that's not really a word to use, but whatever that truth is, that's what I want. Now, I have nothing to this point to question. I do at times question the end game, and I've made you all aware of that because I do want to be transparent. But I think we are all just looking for the truth. So this is interesting. It's interesting that she didn't deny it. I think that's interesting because that's, of course, her, entire modus operandi. She deny, and deflect, and accuse others of what you yourself are doing. That's her usual way of operation. All right. Now, I did want to show you this as well. I am going to be doing another video today because I have too much to put into one video, and I have divided it up into topics that kind of fit together. So I'm going to finish this one up soon. I am going to do another one. I do have enough for a third video, again, by placing a lot of pizza related things together. Then we will possibly do a third video on that. Okay, here is an art gallery in Portland displaying graphic images of President Trump being decapitated. Now, if you are a sensitive viewer, I would ask that you would look away. Some people are very, very sensitive to these things. I actually am myself. I'm getting better at looking at them, but I don't like that fact that it's getting easier for me. I don't like that fact at all. I don't enjoy looking at violent images at all, but this is an art depiction, and I think it is absolutely despicable. If that were anyone else but Donald Trump, there would be outrage. And I mean anyone else. There would be outrage. I don't know how this is allowable when this is a president of the United States. How and why is this allowed? If that were Obama, would that have been allowed? What would have happened to those gallery owners if that had been Obama? Well, first of all, they would have been called racist. But let's say it was Hillary. Let's say Hillary had become president and that was a picture of Hillary. Would that be tolerated? You and I both know it wouldn't. So I think that this is awful. And you know what else I think is awful? The fact that he has a young son who may possibly see that. It's despicable. You know, there are ways of showing your displeasure at the president aside from this. Anyway, let's move on. Now, this I found cute, so we can kind of break up the tension here a little bit. 2 Republicans and a truck. Of course, you know, a little play on the 2 men in a truck. Helping liberals move to Canada, because you can't find 2 Democrats to do the work. You gotta like that. Now, we don't want them in Canada. No. I mean, in fact, I'm trying to get out of Canada because I've got a little bit of immigration issues because I had to come home to deal with an ailing mother, and I've overstayed my welcome here. I can stay here as long as I need to. I was born in Canada, but I consider myself American, and I'm having trouble getting back. But we do not want any more liberals in Canada. No, indeed, we don't. Now, the fact that even Fox and Friends is so upset that Donald Trump didn't condemn Putin for allegedly meddling in our election, but made no mention of Hillary Rodham Clinton receiving $400 million in illegally obtained campaign funds is very telling. Careful, Fox News, your controlled op is showing. Thought that was worth it too, because normally Fox lately has been on Trump's side, but not in this. Why is that? I'd like to know. Now, let me go here. We're almost done with this video, but I do have lots of interesting things for a second video as well. Come on. All right. Now, I'm sure you've already heard this, unless you've been at work all day and or have been busy or out, whatever. Rod Rosenstein summoned to White House. Okay. Update. It's about time. Update. Sarah Huckabee Sanders confirmed that Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein was indeed at the White House today. However, she says it was for routine meetings. He did not meet with the president while he was there, she says. It is unclear what those meetings were. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein was summoned to the White House Tuesday morning, 4 days after he indicted 12 Russian intelligence officers for hacking the 2016 U.S. election. The indictment came one business day before President Trump held a summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Helsinki, Finland. It is unclear if Rosenstein met with President Trump, who is reportedly still in the residence and has not made an appearance in the West Wing. Hans Nichols, just in, Rod Rosenstein was summoned to the White House today, 4 days after, okay, we just kind of read that. Now, Rosenstein's White House appearance comes amid reports that members of the GOP House Freedom Caucus have drafted articles of impeachment for Rosenstein, calling it a last resort, as frustrations mount over the DOJ slow-walking or delaying the delivery of documents vital to the congressional investigations into the FBI's conduct during the 2016 U.S. election. And Lou Dobbs, we need a critical mass of Republicans to favor sanctions, contempt, and the impeachment of Rod Rosenstein. We shouldn't stand for it. Yes, I fully agree. We should not stand for it. On Monday, Freedom Caucus leaders Mark Meadows and Jim Jordan also urged DOJ Inspector Michael Horowitz to investigate whether Rosenstein threatened congressional staffers with subpoena earlier in the year. This notion, Mr. Rosenstein threatened to use his official investigative powers as Deputy Attorney General to retaliate against rank-and-file staff members for sending written oversight requests, raises concerns he has abused his authority in the context of this investigation, the 2 Republican Republican lawmakers wrote in a letter obtained by Fox News. The letter comes after Rosenstein's apparently threatened to subpoena emails, phone records, and other documents from lawmakers and staff on a Republican-led House committee during a meeting earlier this year, according to emails reviewed and first reported by Fox News. The congressman said in the letter that the two witnesses can provide contemporaneous notes and sworn statements of the meeting where the alleged threats were made by Rosenstein. The Deputy Attorney General recently testified to the House Judiciary and Oversight Committees and denied making any threats. Well, of course he would. Speculation also mounted last year that President Trump might fire Rosenstein after FBI agents conducted raids at the home and office of his former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, according to The Hill. Meanwhile, Rosenstein has called for a unified approach to countering foreign meddling. When we confront foreign interference in American elections, it is important for us to avoid thinking politically as Republicans or Democrats and instead to think patriotically, right, like he knows what that word means, as Americans, he said. Our response must not depend on who was victimized. It would be wonderful if he took his own advice, wouldn't it? Yes, that's what I thought. Now, let's go back. And we have one more thing to hit in this video. We're not going to literally hit it. It's not nice to hit. Okay, now this is interesting. The lights go out on Trump as he speaks about the intelligence services. Let's watch this.
Begin by saying that, once again, the full faith and support for America's intelligence agencies. I have a full faith in our intelligence agencies. Whoops, they just turned off the light. That must be the intelligence agencies. There it goes. Okay. You guys okay? Good. That was strange, but that's okay. So I'll begin by saying...
Now, what do you think of that? Didn't look like there was a power outage at all. It looked like somebody shut out the lights. That's what it looked like to me. Let's look at that again. Tell me what you think. I think it's odd, and I don't think the people on either side of him look surprised, which is odd. And it's interesting. He quips, oh, that must be the intelligence agents. Then he says, well, everybody okay? That was strange. So,
stating...
Whoops, let me go back here. And let's
begin by saying that, once again, the full faith and support for America's intelligence agencies. I have a full faith in our intelligence agencies. Whoops, they just turned off the light. That must be the intelligence agencies. There it goes. Okay. You guys okay? Good. That was strange, but that's okay.
Now, the interesting thing is, if you notice, the lights didn't just, usually when you turn a light off, it goes out. But this actually dimmed out, which it could be the type of lights that they have, where it doesn't just shut out, it dims off. I don't know, but I don't know what to think about that. I think he was sending a message, personally, because that is the way Trump seems to do things. I think he was sending a message to someone, lights out. And I noticed that he said, I trust our intelligence agencies. Now, maybe here he's referring to our, meaning those that are on our side. Ours. He trusts ours, but he doesn't trust all. I don't know, but it was sending a message to someone. And to me, I can't help but think the message was lights out. Okay. Dark to light, light to dark. I don't know. But I think that there was definitely a message there. And I would like to hear from you guys as well. I'd like to know what you guys think, because I know that you are rational thinking adults and are capable of forming your own opinions and coming to your own conclusions. So I'm interested to hear what you think. Well, I think I'm going to leave it there for this video. And I do have another video that I will be uploading tonight. probably within another hour or so. So, but for now, that is all I have. And going to cut it off there. Please make sure that if you want to be subscribed, that you stay subscribed, because they do knock people off the subscription list regularly, and also that you hit the bell if you want to be notified of new videos. I appreciate you guys so much. I really do. I honestly believe I have the best listeners out there, because I continue to just get such positive feedback, and I really enjoy the comments that you all leave. So anyway, I'll leave it there. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It is sunny and beautiful here, and I hope that it is there as well. Stay safe.